I'd like you to meet Bianca Sears. She's a woman of many talents and passions. As the co-founder of Infinite Legacy Consulting, she is dedicated to helping her community understand and achieve financial wellness through education and coaching. She is also the CEO and creative director of Be Lovely Beauty Company, a testament to her entrepreneurial spirit. With her expertise in financial literacy and life insurance consulting, she is committed to creating better pathways, building generational wealth. As a Forex trader, she understands the importance of investing and creating multiple streams of income. Above all, she is a devoted wife and mother of seven. Sheesh, congratulations, Mama. And with her wisdom and experience, Bianca is a perfect resource when looking to achieve financial freedom, build a legacy for your families. And don't worry, we'll drop her link so that you can book a consult with her later. All right. Oh, she's dropped out. Man, that was a great intro. It happens. So, brother, while we're waiting on the sister to come back, we know who the up. There we go. We've got her coming. Let's see if her camera's on. Boom. I hope I did you
Can you hear
justice,
me?
Queen.
Can you hear me? I couldn't hear.
No, no, no. You did great. You did great.
Okay.
We got the intro recorded, and you're right back on time.
Okay.
So now, can you tell us a lot about what you do?
A lot.
Yes,
Okay.
a lot
I try
about
to be
what you
brief
do.
because I don't want to take up too much time. Basically, what I do is one-on-one consultations with people who are evaluating their current financial situation, and we find ways to work together to make financial literacy accessible to everybody. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Keep going. Technology does what it does.
Uh-oh. Okay, I'm back. Can y'all hear me now? It went out.
That's all right. We're gonna keep it rocking. So keep
Okay.
telling us about you.
Okay, so we evaluate everybody piece by piece. Everybody's situation is different. Some people are trying to do things. Some people are trying to get rid of things. Some people are trying to move more forward. What we like to do is bring the whole family into it as a whole, so we can have mom doing it, dad doing it, the kids doing it, grandma and grandpa doing it, and we want to put all those things together to make one big bank through our families. And that's the overall goal. We have a concept. It's called a fig tree. And fig stands for Family Investment Group. And that tags everybody that we're connected with, those who would like to participate, and put all our assets and resources together so that when we have down payments or purchases or any type of investments we like to make, we could do that amongst ourselves instead of struggling to qualify for things that we should already have based on our citizenship. Another
Ooh.
conversation for another show. Um, but we want to organize those things, streamline those things, and find better ways to use them. So in our business, we discuss trusts, we discuss protection, we discuss insurance, discuss investments, we discuss ownership, and how to achieve those things. We are willing to work with people and come up with plans customized for the person or the family, and hopefully everybody will participate so that we can start to see generational wealth now, not in the next generation, not two generations down the road. We want our babies to be trust fund babies right now. And that
Mm-hmm.
is totally possible. The lack of education and the shunning that some of us have experienced over the past few generations have limited our ability to take full advantage of these things. But historically, we can see how it has benefited some of the families that we have grown to know. In fact, families that we could not graduate from high school from if we could not describe how they were able to manifest and maintain their wealth. So,
Mm.
by reading, one thing we definitely need to work on by reading, I have discovered some things, and it's not as hard as we may think it is. It's not as hard or unachievable as we may have been taught. So the goal is financial literacy first, so that everybody can understand the concept, and then make use of the products that are now available to us so that we can see results in real time. and not taking years and years to get out of debt or years and years to see our financial goals fulfilled.
Ooh, good gracious. Brother, she sound like y'all need to talk about some
Might
things.
need to. I read the bio on the book. I'm getting ready to order, and I read the bio. I'm very interested.
So one, that is what we do here in the show, right? We connect and link people that, we're not the only ones. When I met Brother Zumbi, I was like, oh snap, you have a book that helps me further what I'm trying to do. Because again, it's this mindset that we talk about, this mindset that we've been ingrained and conditioned to believe.
Yes.
And it's such a mental stronghold that we forget that it even exists. So now, as you try to chip away at that that mindset, you still have
Mm-hmm.
to move forward, right?
Yes.
So his book gave me a lot of um, groundwork, some framework to be like, okay, these are the ideas, and now I can put them into place. But you're telling me that you've done this already. Um,
I'm saying that his processes are part of a bigger overall goal. That's what I'm trying to express. When I came into this information, it was very selfish. I have a large family. So I talked to my mom a couple of years ago. I put some stuff in place. I didn't even know what I was doing. But once I did that, more and more information came. And it was telling me, letting me know it was not about just about your family, but it's about families as a whole. One of the things that we
ooh,
struggle with as Black people, or the things that we say we want, is a lot of unity. We need to be unified. We need to be together. We need to be on the same page. But how do we do that? It's one thing to have a tenet. It's one thing to have a command. It's one thing to have a culture of doing it. But if there's no
mm,
methodology, if there's no information,
ooh,
if there's no pathway or processes laid out, there's no map to follow. So we can gather for a family reunion every year. But if we don't
mm,
know to have these conversations, the wealth will go to the meat. The wealth will go to the t-shirts. The wealth will go
mm.
to whatever cousin didn't have it. So the goal for the family investment group is for everybody to have it. So when we have these gatherings and we're together, we can actually get some things done.
Ooh. So you're actually saying like, now in my greatest dreams, right? Each family would have a book club, whereas once a month we're reading books like this.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? To
Yes.
where now you go home, you don't have to be around your family, but hey, we're gonna have a Zoom call like this. And what did you learn? What did you read? What did you,
Mm-hmm.
understand?
Mm-hmm.
Let's help each other continue to grow. Again, the purpose of the
Absolutely.
show.
I totally
So
agree.
Zumbi, would you give give Bianca a little bit because she hasn't read the
Yeah,
book
break
yet.
it
She
down for
just
me,
read the
please. I'm,
bio.
I'm so
Can you
excited.
break
Okay.
down what you do and what you gave us in your works?
Okay. When she was talking about processes, and this will be in the expanded edition of my book. Uh, there's a there's four P's that I talk about: philosophy, program, plan, process. Okay. What my book did was create a philosophy. A lot of times we read these books, but the books don't cater to our unique situation on this planet as African people, nor do they address the
Yes.
challenges that we face. So I had to come up with a dialogue that the people can digest and it resonates with them. Okay. So I kind of took a page from Malcolm in his speech in The Ballad of the Bullet. He
Okay.
says, before we have a self help plan, we need a self help philosophy. Because, and I'll use sports as an example. A lot of times we want to come to our athletes and say, hey, you should fund this. But the
Mm-hmm.
problem is, we didn't give them a cultural framework first before the money came. Okay. So if we give them a cultural context in which to use the money, then we won't be seeing our brothers, 80% of them going bankrupt and divorced 5 years after retirement.
Yes.
Okay. So what my job was, give ourselves an African centered philosophy, then we can move into the plan, the program, then the plan, and then the process. But the philosophy is what I started with first because I said we really needed to have a philosophy that caters to us. And the way I explain what my book is, it's basically Rich Dad meets Malcolm X's Black nationalism. That's the best way I can describe it.
Beautiful. And from me, if I can say, mine is more I guess of the flavor of the spook who sat by the door, where I feel like I ran up on some stuff that it would be better kept if it's secret, if we're not supposed to know that. So when it talks about what to do with the money, we have players, they don't have financial advisors. They don't know who to trust. They don't know who to talk to. So even if they did want to do something, it's at the cost of who's managing your money. So if you don't understand how it's working, what money is, how it works, how it's grown, what's the tax on that? We're talking tax advantage charitable foundations and management companies for families, and taking it to a more corporate level in our dealings.
Right.
So I would love to incorporate more of the culture into how their stuff operates, because it seems like it's not for us. But when we think about it and you see how it's done, these are things that we normally do. We just don't call it that. So we're already doing it. And that's the scary part.
Because one of the things I talk about in the book is the concept of using the susu or isusu. Okay. And in some ways, we're already doing that. We just don't use that language. Yes. Okay. Now, I know in the Caribbean, it's called the partners. In other parts of the African rural community, it's given different names. But it's kind of like we are the architects of what is now called crowdfunding.
Yes.
Okay. But we've been doing it for so long. Even the brothers on the corner who put their money together to go get a fifth. Okay.
Same concept.
So there are things that are still within our DNA. It's just a matter of brushing them off, giving them a cultural context, and then taking them through philosophy, program, plan, and then process.
Okay. So what I would like to do, based on what you said, as far as incorporating the susu and all the different techniques we have in all the places that we are from, all the diaspora, this concept is saying we're going to susu with life insurance policies.
Okay.
And I'm saying mama got one, daddy got one, grandma and grandpa got one, from both sides of the family. Now that's the pot.
Hold on, wait. So what you just said is that you're going to teach people how to fund the susu without using their own money, because most of the problem is, my family included, I know plenty of people that have come up to me with different types of tree life, blah, blah, blah. They different names for it, still same thing. But most people are like, no, I won't get into it because the roundabout don't make sense. We don't have enough, like you're saying, finances to buy into something that makes sense like that, because that waiting period,
well,
I don't have time.
Let me give her some historical context, because we just did this and we did it wrong.
Get it.
When the pandemic happened, we had a loan, and people were putting thousands of dollars in this loan, and it was all a scam. And what I'm saying is, same technique, but everybody individually needs protection. If something happens to you, and you're no longer able to provide for your family, you need some protection against that. So insurance is something that we need, period, point blank. Whether we get sick, whether we get hurt, or accident, anything puts us in a financial bind, that's what it's there to provide for. However, there is other benefits to having a policy that's more than just a death benefit. These are some of the things that we have been missing out on, and predatorily, our policies have been structured incorrectly to not yield and work the way that they're supposed to. When you properly set up a policy, there are benefits, living benefits.
She went out again. What can you speak to what she was getting ready to preach on, Zumbing?
As she talks about insurance, and how to use insurance as an investment vehicle, I always go back to the Master P story. Okay. I was watching him on a interview, and everybody hears the legend of how P used an insurance policy from his late grandfather that became the seed money for No Limit Records. So basically, this is what happened. His grandfather had gone into the hospital, and subsequently they had given him the wrong medication that ultimately led to his death. A $50,000 insurance policy was collected and split amongst Master P and his four other siblings. So each one got $10,000. So he took his $10,000 and used it as seed money to eventually launch what became No Limit Records, which I think eventually grew into, I want to say, a $500 million empire. Okay.
Sheesh.
So the power of an insurance policy, as what she was getting at earlier, that's just one example of how an insurance policy can be used as an investment vehicle. Not just in, the way we look at insurance, but
Right.
also for living. And I think she's back now. Okay. So she can give a better explanation of how insurance policies can be a part of that investment vehicle.
Oh man, technology is being terrible tonight, yo. Let's see. She'll be back.
Okay.
But okay, so it is a new dynamic way to, and that's how she paraphrases it. It's a new dynamic way to use money.
Mhm.
And if we've watched villainous shows, like The Wolf of Wall Street, or I can't think of another one. That's my favorite one right there. But they
Okay.
show you that it's done, and it's not done with malicious intent per se, but it's done strategically to, like Monopoly, to be able to get a certain result.
Mhm. Now, as a caveat, I have yet to see The Wolf of Wall Street. Okay. But I have read, I think, one of Jordan Belfort's books where he has a sales system, what he calls SLP, straight line persuasion. Okay. Where you cut through all the fluff and you basically streamline the sales process to get from point A to point B in the shortest amount of time.
I mean, but that's true of everything. Like if you're going from one point to another, the shortest distance is from A to B. It's a straight line.
Okay. But the issue, at least from a sales perspective, is that you kind of take the scenic route, the way it's been taught in the past. You take this scenic route, build a relationship with the customer, do all of these things until you forget to get the sale.
Ooh.
Okay. Because as we say, nothing happens until a sale is made. Okay. And I always ask this question. I said, name me one business school on the planet who teaches sales.
Ooh.
It doesn't exist.
That's funny. I'm laughing because my mom and I were talking about a gentleman who is very into sales, but now again, it's not a profession. It's not a thing. Like it's something that you can be good at. Not to knock any salespersons, but it is not. There's not a discipline for it.
But there are sales masters out there. It's really a case of, I think a lot of it is psychology based. Okay. And also what you're seeing newer generations where in the past, everybody was doing the hard sell, high pressure type sales. Okay. Once I want to say the Federal Trade Commission had stepped in and started giving guidelines about how to sell. Like, I'll give you an example. When the telemarketing was the big thing, okay, people were complaining about telemarketers calling them at all times of the day or night. So what happens is this, and this is what telemarketers have been trained to do. If I make a call Okay. And the person who picks up the call says, I am on the do not call list. The telemarketer is instructed to hang up the phone immediately and end the call. Okay. Because all telephone calls are recorded. Okay. Even if that person is not on the list, you can't take that chance, because either the person is on the list or the person is going through that 31-day process of having their number placed on the national do not call list.
Right. There's a process to everything. So
Okay.
now that we got Bianca back,
Yes.
I'm
I
back.
think
I'm back.
her mic
Okay.
is working. We
In
were
here,
really
I'm
getting
good.
heavy into the insurance, right?
Yes.
Right.
As you call it, the new dynamic way to use money. So give us like 3 tips, right, of what we could do today outside of connecting with you to get our mindset ready for this way to use money.
Okay, some of the stuff is going to be radical.
Mhm.
So I just want to prepare everybody before I say it. Stop spending cash. That's one.
Mm.
Stop spending it. If you have credit cards and you're using them for unsavory purchases, you're doing it wrong. Use your credit card for all your everyday purchases and get credit for the stuff that you're spending your money on. Because if your checking account gets hacked, the money is gone. If somebody
Mm.
steals your credit card, the money is replaced. That's cash protection, period. That's one.
Sheesh.
Two, I would say restructure your debt. A lot of loans are insufficient, probably based on bad credit, where they are able to charge you astronomical amounts of interest or extend your terms for just ridiculous amounts of time. And what ends up happening is it drains your monthly cash flow. Every time you get paid, money comes in, you got 2 things to pay, and money has to come out. A combined car payment and insurance payment monthly doesn't make any sense. You're paying 2 car payments. That's why you don't have any money. So that
Listen,
leads
that
me to the
part.
third thing. The credit that you used to purchase the car that you're paying the note on every month, and the taxes and the insurance and the interest, that same amount of money could have started you your own bank. So the next time you want to buy a car, take the $30,000 and start your own bank. If you want to learn how to do that, that's the consultation. But those are 3 concepts that you can use. And it's not all about insurance. Insurance is a eventuality. The education comes first. The restructuring and reclaiming of your cash flow comes second. And then what you do with that to build generational wealth comes third.
Ooh, I love it. Now,
So that you can afford your protection. When things get tight, insurance is the first thing to go. But insurance is the
mm,
only thing that's growing your money.
ooh, she was getting into it. So, do you agree, Zumbi, with your book and your thought process with what she said? Do you agree?
Um, I don't have credit cards. So like she said, a lot of what she's suggesting would be radical, because we've been conditioned to think along a certain line and think in a certain way.
Hmm.
Okay. We've never been taught, like, as far as cash. Okay. What is cash really used for? Okay. If you're the poor and the middle class, we always think of using it as something to be quote unquote spent. As opposed to the rich, it's a tool to be invested. If you read The Richest Man in Babylon, it talks about every dollar that comes into your asset column should automatically go to work for you
Mm-hmm.
and hustle harder than you. What's the first rule in the rich dad philosophy? The rich don't work for money.
Ooh,
That's the first rule. Because money is to be your servant, not your master.
that's right.
Okay. And like the sister said, a lot of this stuff, it's like you have to unlearn and relearn. It's kind of like a build and destroy, or in this case, destroy, then rebuild.
You rebuild. Mm-hmm.
Love it. You know, we always got to drop the books. It's always the knowledge, like Sis said in the beginning, she read. And just in life, I'm like, yo, there are so many people that negate the power, the simplicity of the power of reading. So when you tune in, please make sure you have a notepad, notebook. Please pick up the books that we're reading or we're dropping. I'm showing them to you on the screen for a reason so that you can see and gain the knowledge that we're trying to share with you.
Oh, I should have put mine in. I should have put some in there. I'm sorry. I messed up. I got to put
Listen,
some.
no, you still got time. You know what I'm saying? Drop the
Yeah.
name and thing, and I'll make it do what it do.
Let me see if I can go in and grab
Okay.
That's what we're here for.
You
So
know,
we got a
so
sister
yeah.
say her money works for her, and that's what it's supposed to do. We out here
Right.
working entirely too hard in this universe when,
Mhm.
like you said, it's a tool,
Right.
like a cog in a wheel circuit. You know, if they work together, they work better.
Right. And also, as that money works for you, that money, as it's invested, should be outperforming inflation as we speak. So, and I think that may be something Sister may get into a little later. But the two biggest, well, I'll say it this way. For me, the three biggest enemies of wealth creation, wealth building, and wealth management, and this is in no particular order: bad money habits, inflation, and taxes.
Mm. Are you nodding your head? Says, "Come on, bring it. Tell me what it is."
I just drew a diagram out today explaining that. Exactly whether I have a concept where it's built like a house, right? So insurance and your protection will be the foundation of your house. If anything happens, that's what's holding it up, right? Then you have the actual structure of the house that entails your income, your wealth generation capabilities, and your debt management. The roof in this situation would be your investments. If anything goes wrong,
I'm loving the house reference, yo. Technology, we gonna work through it, yo. So she said, let's recant what she said. The roof is what?
The investments.
The investments. And then the framework. Here we go. I think she back.
Okay.
There we go. We got you. We recanted. The roof is the investments, and then keep going.
The investments. Out of the chimney of the house is all the wasteful spending. And everything that he just said is the same clouds that I have coming out of there. Wasteful spending, inflation, taxes, and interest.
Okay.
That was the other thing that I put, interest, because we can determine how much interest we pay. A lot of these things we determine. We determine what's on our consumer reports. You have control over what's on your credit report. If you don't want something reported, it's your right to not have it reported. You dictate how much you want to pay in interest by how you handle your credit score and manage your overall debt and all your accounts. You can, like I said, make your loans more efficient by handling your debt properly and get some of that stuff off of you. So if it's something you want to invest in, if it's an opportunity you want to take advantage of, it's all about management. But if you don't understand how money works, you don't know what you're managing.
Right.
So instead of having it, that's the right now, the instant gratification, you have to have some goals in mind. I would like to be able to spend this amount of money. Right now, I have to spend this amount of money. What can I do to get more money over here where I want it and less money going out the door when I want to keep it?
Right.
So that's why I said it's based on everybody's individual situation. Everybody doesn't have the same debt. Everybody doesn't have the same aspirations. Some people want to be comfortable. Some people want to be more than comfortable. So depending on what you want to do determines how you have to function in order to achieve that. Real quick. This book right here.
Make sure y'all have your pens and papers out, please.
Okay. Ooh. All right, that's a new one. Okay.
Very nice.
Okay. Doug Andrew.
Ooh, each time as she trying to get into it, yo, and the evil is trying to stop her from teaching, like they said. But that's okay. We still know how to make it rock, make it shake. Yes,
Okay.
it's phenomenal information. Go ahead, brother.
And I'll add one more book to the record. For those who have been reading books in the Rich Dad series, the one that I highly recommend outside of the first one, which is Rich Dad Poor Dad, Rich Dads Increase Your Financial IQ.
Hmm.
And the reason I recommend that is because there are 5 financial IQs that professional investors, I'm talking about Warren Buffett and his partner Charlie Munger, Carl Icahn, even guys like Ray Diallo use. Okay. That book right there, and not to give a spoiler, but I'll mention the 5th financial IQ is making sure that you have relevant information, because what may have worked in the past, let's say before 1974, is irrelevant and obsolete today. Okay.
Mm.
So you always want to make sure that the information you get is relevant and can be applied in a post-pandemic economy. You know, it's like that old Michael McDonald song, things will never be the same again. So whatever you were doing pre-COVID, that's gone. Okay. And I think it was Jerome Powell, who's the Federal Reserve chair. He says, look, pre-COVID economy is gone. We're in a new economy. Okay. So we have to start thinking, what do we do in this new economy? Okay. Do we have to have new skill sets? Do we have to look at money differently? Do we have to develop a more entrepreneurial minded thought process? Okay. So these are the things that we really have to begin to look at when the sister talks about information. We want to make sure that the information we get is relevant to today's time.
I see you bring back another book, yo. What's the other book? What's the
No,
other
this,
book you got?
you talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh no, it was just the two. This was just the
Okay.
two. I was trying to
Oh,
find
what's up?
another
So
one just in case.
tell us about the laser fund, because even Minister Zumbi doesn't know about that, which I'm
Okay,
shocked and amazed.
I would be glad to. So, the laser fund is a way to design an insurance policy to work in like every way imaginable, as
Mm,
far as like I said, the tax-free advantages, the liquidity of it, how fast you can access your money, and the investment opportunity that you can attach to your life insurance policy. So you can invest, you can build wealth, you can have tax-free transactions, you can still have your death benefit for your family, but still
mm,
live off of your cash accumulation value as a retirement form in the meantime. And this tells you how to put all of it together, how to work it out, and it gives all the definitions of all these terms that they try to make over confusing for us, and good questions to ask agents to make sure they know how they're structuring your policy. So everybody should read this book.
mhm.
Sheesh. It got questions in it too. That I'm
It's
sorry, that was
questions for the agents to ensure that they know what they're doing and how they're properly supposed to structure your policy in order for it to function. You can't put any amount of money in there, or it may trigger something. You can't take money out any kind of way, or it may trigger something. You don't want to withdraw from your life insurance policy. You want to do a loan against the collateral of your policy. That's two different things. Most people don't know that.
so this is dope, because last week we were talking about learning financial vocabulary. Brother Zumbi, everybody make sure you tune into the last show, because Brother Zumbi showed us what was it? Somethinopedia. Tell us again.
The website is Investopedia.
Investopedia.
Okay.
Ah, see, look at that. Great
I
So
got
minds
the
think
course.
alike.
I got the course.
okay, of course. Okay. So what I had said in the last show is one of the things that you can do is give yourself a goal that you will learn anywhere from 1 to 5 new financial terms each day.
Hmm.
Okay. By doing that, you will begin to, because you have to speak the language
Yes.
of money. Okay. And what this also does, it helps you, and I stand by this, what Warren Buffett says. If you can't control your emotions, you can't control your money. Okay. So you need things in place to protect you from your emotions, whether it's insurance, whether it's, investing in the stock market, real estate, what have you. So when you have these blueprints in place, now you can't act impulsively because now you've got structure that keeps you in check.
I love that. So that's like another nod, like to Brother Malcolm, because you're saying one, let's learn language. It's a whole nother language, just like Spanish, just like French, just like anything else. It's another language that we must learn and we must commit to learning. Just like if you study history, we had to learn from whatever tribe we were in to English. Now it's a whole nother language that we need to learn in order to speak. And we want to do so fluently because that fluidity, right, allows us to maneuver differently in the world. We
Mm,
are able to use the tool for what it's for versus just having access to it and it just kind of sinks through our fingers.
right. And for those who may subscribe biblically, um, read Proverbs 17:16, and I'm going to paraphrase what it says. It says, "What good is it for a man to get money if he lacks the desire to learn to manage and master his money?"
Mm.
Okay. So it's not so much about having the resources per se, but having the knowledge base and the skill sets of knowing what to do with it. Okay. Henry Ford says, look, I can lose my entire fortune and gain it back within 5 years. Now, at the time, I didn't understand why he would say that. But in my studies, I understood that the knowledge base that he had, he wasn't afraid of, if he
Mm.
lost it, he had the knowledge base of how to get it back and more.
Ooh. So I love
Okay.
that. That fear. Fear is like a compound thing, especially in the black and brown and all the other names that they have to denote us. Um, our community. It's we're afraid of a lot of things. And Bianca, you talk about this, right? Using a will. Uh, will we will it away? I know a lot of people in our community, our parents are hiding whatever, whether it be the house, the mortgage, as like this fear of immortality when we know that we're going to die, and yet we just let it all slip through our fingers. What can we do, Bianca? How can we stop this process?
This is the point of having the family conversation. Unfortunately, we can't all live forever. So I will have to put a disclaimer on there because I know that some people are stuck in their ways. So let me be clear. This is for people who are willing to learn and who are willing to participate. You're not going to be able to fight anybody who doesn't want to be a part of it. But I feel like through education and letting people know how all of these things work together is not just on mama and what happens after she passes. It's on everybody, and everybody has one. If we take the stigma off of it and incorporate more of the family, where it's not just dependent upon a matriarch or a patriarch, I think they would be
Mm.
a lot more willing to be, come forward and have discussions about this because everything is not based on the family growth, it's based on my death. That's too much energy put on the negative. And that's why people covet that. That's the problem. Y'all not gonna be able
Oh,
to
Mm,
move forward until I die. So if we can talk about how we can do that all in real time, that would take some of that weight off of whoever that person is who's unwilling to share that type of information.
so what I just heard you say, because we as Black women get titled, labeled with this strong Black woman situation, and you also mentioned the matriarch, which was normally Big Mama, which because of slavery,
Mm-hmm.
that was normally the person that was taking care of everybody. The only problem is Big Mama was only taught to take care of us one way, and then because she had that coveted, as you said,
Mm-hmm.
position, she didn't tell anybody else, and then she died, and now nobody actually knows how to care for themselves in any way, whether it's financially, whether it's cooking, whether it's self care. Uh, and this fear of becoming something different than a person that is dependent, right? We've been made
That's
to become dependent.
it's a two-part process, because a lot of
Got
times
you.
what ends up happening is family illness causes financial disaster when it comes
Mm,
to our families as well. So the preparation for that has never been a part of it. We're really reactionary to things. When something happens, we all come together. Something happens to somebody, we all pass the hat around. Something happens, we all come from out of town and come to the whatever it is. But there's no, like I said in the beginning, there's no process on how we deal with each other. So you have to establish that. You can't establish that until you have the conversation. We are starting a family trust. What that means is, if something happens to one of the elders in our family.
Oh, every time, yo, every time she would get
Right.
right into the sauce. However, she's absolutely right. We've got to remember as a community, there's power in coming together. There's power in learning together from one another. Let's see if we got her back. Hey sis, let's
I'm
just
back.
let's
Can you
keep
hear
it going.
me? Okay, we'll keep going.
Mm.
So what I'm saying is, the long-term care benefit that comes in life insurance that probably hasn't been structured properly pays that person who has to take care of that elder or has to quit their job, and the other financial domino effects that come from a financial trauma like that to a family. You have to get
Mm,
in front of it. You have to get ahead of it. It will destroy you if you don't.
Mm.
And we have family members that do not talk to each other this day because of something that didn't happen at the funeral, or I was the one who was taken care of so and so and such and such. The only
Right.
way to combat that is to get in front of it. We know that this can happen. We know that these things can happen. And not just based on the negative. We're talking about scholarships for the babies. We're talking about making them trust fund babies. We're talking about being able to do business together as a family and be our own bank and not have to ask anybody for the money to get the building. We
Right.
can invest. We can buy land. We can farm. We can do so many things just within ourselves. So I don't think that the connotation of life insurance should be
mm.
Mm.
Ooh, I love it.
Yeah.
Removing the stigma, right?
Yeah.
And the code for the whole month of Fit to Heal is mental health awareness, right? A stigma is a really, really poor mental stronghold that stops you from moving forward because you believe you have a thought process about a thing. Don't worry,
Mm.
sis. I know how to fill space.
come back,
Let's see
come
if we
back, come
got her
back.
back. Keep it going. You was hot, sis. Let's go.
I got a hater. Okay. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but we
Okay.
can't see you.
You can't see me. Okay, let me turn the camera off and turn it back. Can you see me now?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Okay, let me see what I gotta do.
All right,
Mm.
I'm gonna drop you out. There we go.
Okay.
Now,
Mm.
the brother here said we got to learn how to speak to each other, and communication is key, which is why in the beginning of this last month, right, we were talking especially about romance. Um, Again, if you have a poor financial relationship with yourself, you're probably going to have a poor financial relationship with somebody else because you're afraid to discuss finances. That is the biggest thing that I've taken away. The biggest caveat is we're afraid to read and we're afraid to discuss finances with one another so that when the inevitable happens, we're able to appropriately provide for those under our current protection, whether is as a man, you're providing for your husband, your wife or your husband, new times, whomever. Um, you want to be able to leave somebody something. The Bible says, if you're biblically inclined, a good man leaves an inheritance for his children. We're supposed to leave something that they can do something with, not more strife, not more struggle. We're supposed to leave wealth and abundance for our children.
It's a birthright.
Ooh, perfect timing.
It's a birthright, and poverty is a spiritual warfare attack.
Mm.
Ooh,
It just is what it
poverty
is.
is a
How can the
spiritual
most
warfare.
spiritual people in the nation be suffering like this financially? It doesn't make any sense.
Mm.
Hmm.
And if we were able to put the same sauce on our finances that we do in the world, what would that make us? So
Ooh.
it seems like it's in somebody's best interest to keep us in the dark about it.
There's two things I've always said about poverty. One, it's man-made. Two, it's intentional.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Because you don't see poverty in nature. When was the last time, and I know I'm being cynical when I say this, but when was the last time you ever saw a lion apply for SSI?
I ain't never seen that.
Okay. When was the last time you ever saw a wolf having to apply for SNAP, temporary assistance, what have you? So if you live in a abundant universe, okay, who created this artificial trap called poverty, and who benefits from this artificial trap called poverty? You know, one of my who I consider one of my heroes is Dr. Muhammad Yunus, who is the architect of the whole microfinance movement. And in his book Banker to the Poor, when he was pushing the concept of microfinancing, giving microloans, because he believed micro enterprise was a viable vehicle to get people out of poverty. What he realized in America, he took a trip to Chicago, and he was trying to introduce this micro enterprise, microfinance program. But the activists and the other poverty pimps say, no, we need this, that, and the third. And he realized that poverty was a multi-billion-dollar industry in America at that moment.
And it's much more expensive to live in poverty.
Oh, you ain't say nothing but a word. It is
Much
the
more
most
expensive.
expensive thing in the world to be broke.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do nothing. You can
And that
barely
I
eat.
do agree is by design. I don't want to get too deep for the
Right.
podcast, but it's a lot of levels to this. It's different realms that this thing is taking place in. And until we get some foundational principles on what type of spirit will be over the money and what will we doing with it, that's got a lot to do with which way it goes as
Interesting.
well.
So what you saying makes sense, right? Because he's saying have a plan. You're saying have a higher plan than just the here and now, the right, in the present. You're saying in terms of ascension, in terms of legacy, in terms of everything, there should be a plan. So what would you say to a person that is ready to make that change, ready to consult with you? How do we get ready to leave legacies for generations? How do you prepare your mind to prepare your thoughts and your words to be disciplined in such a way?
First of all, you got to look at your numbers. You can have a number in your mind that you think your debt is, or what you're doing with your money. But when you get it down on paper and you pull all that out and run back through it again, it'll give you a picture of where you are. And if you can identify places that money can be saved, that's great. But a lot of the times, or most of the stuff that's costing us the most, like I said before, is those payments and those interest fees. So if we can eliminate those, that's what's taking your monthly $500 payment, $300 payment, $250 payment, and it's draining what you're going to work for every day. So you feel like you're working and working and working and not making any money. That right there should do a lot with your mindset. But you know that you're employable, that you're gainfully employed, and you're getting some money for your time. So at this time when you're working, this is the time to get everything how you want it, because guess what that will do? Shorten your work time. If you use the years that you have to make the money that you're making right now, and if you improve and make more money or get a raise or whatever, it can cut down how long you have to do that. We're all chasing financial freedom. We all want to retire early. We all want to be debt free. But these situations that we're in right now are the truth. And until you write those numbers down and find out exactly how much you're spending, exactly how much you know you need for insurance, these are things that have to be evaluated. You can't just sit around and mope about it. It has to be a structure, it has to be a process. So mentally, you know what you're making. Did it go out again?
Good.
Hello, hello, hello.
You could. We still hear you.
Yeah.
I don't think she hears us.
Okay.
So what say
Good.
you, Zumbi? What do you say? What you are you in agreement with the mindset piece?
Mhm. Absolutely. And another thing, and maybe this goes back to when you're talking about legacy, and when you were talking about the whole thing with the matriarch and how Big Mom was taking care of everything, whether it was intentional or not, the one thing you don't want to be is a generational thief.
Ooh, what you mean a generational thief? We stealing stuff? Who's stealing?
Here's what I mean. I'll give you an example. Earlier today, I was reading an article from Yahoo Finance about a 50-year-old woman who her late husband had given her a 7-figure inheritance. Okay. Due to some ill advised investment she made with her money manager, that money dwindled down to where she only had $35,000 left. So she did the unthinkable. Okay. And this is what I call financial infidelity and financial treason. What I'm about to mention. She liquidated her 16-year-old daughter's college fund to cover part of the mortgage and to make sure she kept her Malibu house.
Bruh.
Okay. Her daughter basically said, my mother has pissed off all the hard work that my father did, and she better not expect me to help her in her retirement.
Hmm.
Okay. So, and I don't know if Sister gets into the whole thing about financial infidelity and financial treason in her coaching and her counseling.
Oh, I'm with it. I'm with it. Go ahead.
Okay. So that's another element to the game. And the only reason I brought that up is because the one thing I had said while you were out is we don't want to become generational thieves where we don't prepare for, as they say, the children's children.
Yeah.
I've heard
generations.
I've heard Negroes say, well, I'm not leaving my children jack. If I had to start from ground zero, then the next generation should start from ground zero because they need to know how to
The struggle. What in the world is that nonsense, yo?
Okay.
That's the
I'm one of those
mindset.
people.
Yeah, and that's the mindset that you have to deal with. They figure nobody ever gave me anything, so why should I give my children anything? And that's a real thing.
It's a very real thing.
And that's slavery trauma. If it's based on working hard, they didn't ask to be here, so that it really doesn't make any sense. I mean, I get
Correct.
it.
How are you going to
Make
take
any
something
sense.
from someone who didn't?
This is a child. This is a child that you brought into the world that hopefully has a better opportunity than you. If times haven't changed, that we would all still be slaves. So the mentality was stuck, not us.
Sheesh.
We're in a totally different world now. We can apply for life insurance. We can read books. We can do stuff like that. The worthiness issue is where the problem lies.
Okay.
If you're still questioning about how did you get this job, when you go home to those children, you're questioning, am I really supposed to have this? Is this really for me?
And that's a huge thing. Even in personal training, I've had clients that 60 years old, they got buku cash, they've worked hard for it, they've earned the right to do, frivolity with their money. And yet they'll be like, I feel like I'm not supposed to be able to. And then that mental stress turns into like physical stress, which then has people spewing these weird things to one another: hate, loathing, depression, aggression, frustration. And it's all behind, like you said, self-worth.
If you don't feel like you're supposed to have it, then that's another reason why we spend the way we do. Black people are oftentimes cash rich and credit poor because it's instant gratification. I got to spend all this money. I got to pay this, and this. If I want this, I'm going to go get it.
Yo, Kanye West said it.
Kanye
West said it in his song. I should do this, but I'm finna go buy them Jordans and, like you said, the clothes and shoes.
That speaks to the picture that you have of your future. If you feel like there's nothing worth working toward, You will run through everything right now.
Mm.
And that's why I keep saying, tell the family, because when your aunt is doing it and you complain to your aunt, she's going to remind you. The other people in your family that are participating in this are all in this with you. What you're saying as a family is that we are all worth this. And if nobody has us, we got each other. We say that, but we don't.
Ooh, we don't act like it. I'm gonna finish her sentence for her. We don't
Right.
act like it. It's in the action of it. It's in the actual, hey sis, let's sit down. And I've been in many relationships where you say, let's build a budget together so that we can get out of this aspect of life, so that we can together grow together. It's not your money, it's not my money, it's our money. And yet the other party will be like, I don't really want to talk to you about finances. However, I want to live in the house with you. I want to do these things with you. But when there's massive gaping holes of money and we talk about it, now I am uncomfortable and I do not want to actually move forward. I want to stay in this wallowing pit of whatever.
Right.
When
That's
it's
a
like,
choice.
yo, let's get some books. There's for all those that say they lack skill, there's legit a book, an app, a website for all of that. If you think you're a bad parent, there's a book for that. If you think she just showed us a book, laser fun. Like, I'm excited to learn how to do that. If you are so depressed and self-loathing, there are books and people. Don't worry, stay tuned to Fit to Heal. We'll bring them on the show because we are super serious about this. We want us as a people to collectively change our minds so that when I sit across from the table from this woman who has the knowledge, the expertise, and has taken her valuable time to study this information and to be able to deliver it in a manner that I best understand from a relatable standpoint, and she looks like me, then I'll be able to like actually hear her and not discredit her because she has locks or because she has lashes or because her skin is brown or because she's 5'4". I don't actually know how tall she is. I'm just making up things. Hey, I was close. I was close. You know what I'm saying? Short girls unite. It's a huge problem that we don't want to talk to one another respectfully or lovingly.
Short girls in the room.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? Short women, we fun size. God stopped us real quick because that's all we needed. We were done.
That's enough.
But the mindset absolutely has to change. There are more people that are non-melanated that are willing to work with me as a professional in health and wellness than people that look like me. And it's not until I work with non-melanated people that they're like, oh, you can actually help me. Sis, what you mean? Of course I can help you. But that's, again, another slave mentality type thing where you're waiting for someone else's approval to be able to receive help from us.
Let's see. She back on.
She's in and out. Man, technology be doing the things. Uh-huh. So, Brother Zumbi, with your book, every time I ask you for 3 things, give me 3 different things real quick that we can help change this mindset about economics. Because most people in fitness and otherwise will be like, oh, it's too hard. Oh, I don't have the time. Oh, excuse.
Okay.
What are 3 things that they can do that will block out any kind of excuses and just put pedal to metal and let's go?
Okay. One of the things I talk about is how to become an expert for under $50. Okay. Here's how you can do it. Okay. Let's say you don't have access to a public library. If you want to be an expert in what I call the science of beef, whether it's business, economics, entrepreneurship, or finance, depending on what you choose, how many books minimum would it take you to declare yourself an expert in a particular area of business or finance? Take a guess.
10.
10, she says.
I said 10.
Okay. Goddess?
I would say 5. 5 is my lucky number.
3.
Mm.
And the reason why I say $50, the average book is going to run you between $16 to $20.
Listen, unless you support your local libraries, I got 3 books the other day for $1.50.
But he said if you don't have access to a public library, though, that's the disclaimer he put on.
Fair enough.
So, and also what you have to remember, the average American only reads 1 book a year. And in most cases, that book is a romance novel. So imagine you already have read, let's just take marketing. So let's say you've read 3 books on marketing. That's a start. You have already placed yourself maybe at least 90 to 95% of most of the American population. And as you continue to build that knowledge base, you go to webinars, you go to seminars, you talk with people, you begin to develop your own marketing plans. Now, just based on that, those 3 books you read, now you can declare yourself an expert. So it only takes 3 books minimum. Just 3 books.
Hold on. In total, in my lifetime, I just need to read. You know how many things I'm an expert on? My mom just asked me today, how many books are you reading currently? I had to think about it, and I had to ask her, well, do you mean physical books or audio books? Because the number in combination is great, but physical books is only like 5. Just relax. It's not a big number. You add the audio books to that, that's another 5. So that's 10 today.
Yeah, I read way too much. Way too much. I try to read 10 things a month if I can.
That part.
Okay.
What most millionaires do.
Right. And another thing, I just pulled up my book. Okay. If you can see it, Gospel of Afro-Latino Theology. So principle number 49, and this is another thing about changing mindset. We want African people to focus on building wealth instead of making money. Okay. For African people to build, maintain, protect, and bequeath their financial assets, they must focus on building wealth that lasts. Making money is the easy part. The challenge is to make the money work for you and outlive you. John D. Rockefeller Sr. is gone, yet his money continues to dictate policy all over the planet. His wealth has shaped education, politics, medicine, and business. Okay. And another thing, we're so obsessed with the bag until we don't want to take the time to understand our respective industries so we can understand its revenue model and understand what that business model is supposed to do. Okay. So we're so focused on the effect until we won't take time to understand the cause of what brings that effect about.
Oh, and cause comes before effect. Now this is where first grade comes in. You know what I'm saying? We got to get back to the simplicity of education. It's the scientific method is what the brother told me, and I'm 36. So I learned this, like I said, first grade, and have just been applying the facts to life since then.
Okay. And I'm just looking for another principle to kind of give you
I like that word.
To work with. Here's what I say. This is principle number 35. We want African people to teach and demonstrate to their children how to become producers, and I emphasize producers, through entrepreneurial ventures. Due to the shift in the global economy, the market is demanding that people become producers as opposed to consumers. African parents need to teach their children the importance of creating their economic opportunities, regardless of the state of the economy. Self-reliance and self-sufficiency are now the order of the day.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. So I had to drop that word. You use bequeath. I love it. I love it. But there are a lot of people that, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm a sucker for words. So in case anybody heard the word, never seen the word, never heard the word, or understood it, there it goes. There's the definition. Hey, you not only have you learned about finances and how to use money dynamically, you also learned a new word today.
And this is part of, learning 1 to 5 new financial terms each day.
Oh, I love it. All right. So we normally tap out at an hour. I think we didn't cover just about everything. Um, but quick thoughts, right? I wanted you to touch on using your trust fund versus your will and funding your fun, not your funeral, before we go.
Hmm.
Oh man,
Oh, she's muted.
we can't hear you. We can't hear you. Oh no, sis, we can't hear you. Lord, this. Ooh, I'm gonna keep bringing this comment up, yo. I'm gonna keep bringing this comment up. The evil is trying to
Okay.
stop her from teaching.
Teaching. Okay.
Listen, that's all right. We're gonna keep it rocking. So you gave us three things, yes, Zoe.
Hmm.
Uh, outside of Amazon, is there anywhere else we can find you?
Uh, wherever your melanated bookstore is, um,
Hey.
support your local uh, black bookstore wherever you are on this planet. One that I've always enjoyed supporting is in Philadelphia, Black and Nobel.
Ooh, Black and Nobel. Oh
Okay.
snap! I look up some quick. You said Black and Noble. I know there is in Virginia. There's a book club on High in Portsmouth. If you haven't been there, they have cakes, they have pastries. My homegirl does shows there. They're awesome. But please, sir, continue. I had to drop that Black.
Yeah. So that's where you can pick up the book, whether you have to go to Amazon or to your local melanated bookstore. Um, like I said, I'm working on the expanded edition right now where I'm adding about 5 chapters. One chapter I talk about being an infopreneur or what's called information marketing, especially if you're in a service-based um, industry. Information marketing, like I said, everybody knows something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when I show my book, everybody thinks it's a book. It's an information product. And if you were to take this book, how many products could I pull out of this book? Okay. It could be anywhere. Prime example, for those of you who've read Guerrilla Marketing by the late J. Conrad Levinson. The book made $10 million, but he only made $35,000 from royalties. The remaining 9.67 million came from ancillary products such as coaching programs, such as webinars, seminars, etc. Okay, so as our ancestor Reverend Ike would say, tap into the infinite economy, which is not connected to the man-made economy.
That's right. They call it solicar wealth, the wealth of the mind, the wealth of the thoughts. If you can think it, as they say, a man or woman thinketh, so shall she be, or so shall he be.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sis, we back
Yeah.
in. Let's see if we can hear you. Tell us.
Can you hear me?
Us. Yeah, we got
Okay.
you. Come on.
So real quick
Finish
before
out
they cut
strong.
me out. Okay. So a will can be contested. A trust cannot.
Okay.
Your kids can argue over your will for the 5, 7, 10, however many years until they want to get it all right. So a will is not concrete. A trust is concrete. There are different type of trusts. We can get into that on the console. There are different type of wills. We can get into that on the console. All the will does is tell people what you want. The trust makes it so by law.
Okay.
So that's not all you have to do is just leave a will. Also, I would just like to say there is plenty of wealth in the Black community. Just want to make an announcement. We are not robbing God. Malachi was talking to the Levites. Get your money. It's in the church. Get your money.
It's an abundance thing. You know what I'm saying? All right. Now tell us, fund your fund, not your funeral.
Okay, so fund your fund. When you invest into your life insurance policy, you want to overfund that. That kicks off a series of events where the money starts making itself. Your death benefit takes care of your funeral. Your kids should not be paying for your funeral. That is already there for that. The cash benefits that are there are for you while you are living. When you die, they get the death benefit. While you are alive, use your cash benefits. Fund your life. They fund your funeral at the end. That's the end, not the whole thing. Use your money while you got it.
Ooh, yes, heaven exists here on earth while you are walking, living, and breathing.
Yes, it does. This
And
is
you
kingdom
cannot
living.
take anything with you. And we're not asking you to. We're asking you to be a little bit more wiser with your finances and your mental, your physical, your emotions, like the brother said in the beginning of the program. And anybody that takes any kind of business course, they will tell you the same. If you do not learn how to control your emotions, you will lose everything. The brother says, safeguard yourself. Safeguard yourself from your emotions because you know they exist. You're not going to stop being emotional human being. That's what you are. You got to learn and study yourself, which is what Fit Goddess Tribe does, which is what the whole point of Fit to Heal is. We want to continue to bring you people like Bianca, like Brother Zumbi, that have information and have become experts because, as we've learned today, it takes how many books?
3.
3 books. 3 books. 3 books. 3 books. You can read 3 books, really, if you tried real hard in one day. If you tried real hard. It is kind of painstaking, especially if you have to wear glasses like myself, because the words. However, yeah, you can definitely read them in a week. And Audible, you can listen to them.
Don't say listen.
Because I mean, you 6 hours in a day, you sitting on your tail anyway. Instead of listening to whatever you listening to, you could just, consume things differently. We're so glad, Bianca, that you were able to join us today. Everybody, if you are tuned in on our Facebook Live, there is a link in the discussion that will allow you to book her for a consult. Again, you can find my book or Brother's book on Amazon or at your local melanated place. Yes, bookstore. Mine, you'll be able to find it in your local library coming here soon. Hey. And also, if you want to find my book, check out my alum. Yes, you can always go to Norfolk State in the bookstore and get a copy of Breathe. That is, again, build resiliency every day and think health eternally. It's more than just the finances. It's more than just the food. It's more than just the physical. Everything starts first in the mind. And as the brother said, the sister said this evening, we've got to change our mind about economics. We need to recreate new wavelengths in a way of thinking and therefore communicating about money and finances, one within self, because I have to, like she said, think that I am worthy of the finances and abundance that will come from speaking highly of money and speaking well about money. Yeah, and intelligently. Thank you, Mama.
Amen.
I hope y'all enjoyed the program this evening. We will be back next Monday at 7:15 with more information for you. And again, May is Mental Health Awareness. We're removing the stigma. Oh, I'm bringing in all the things. We're removing the stigma of what it is to be wealthy and abundant and live in a playground, as, like sis said, is our birthright. We'll check you again next week. Signing out. Peace, y'all.